Here I'm going to show the modifications I do in the Dragon DML nude bodies, which are the ones I use for my figures, groups, and crews. First, remove the head, end up with the body. Make sure that the shoulders, that would be wrong side out, nice and tight. Okay. The first thing I do would be cut with this Dremel, which is the circular blade. I would cut the angle of the shoulder, and then with the same wheel use as a sander. So you'd end up with like a sloping shoulder. Okay. Then once I have that sloping shoulder, I would go with this Dremel, okay, grinding wheel, and smooth out that slope. Smooth out in front, on top, from the back. Not all the way in because you don't want to affect the joint. But again, you just smooth it out. You get the idea. Okay? So it's going to be nice and smooth. And then the next step would be to grind the chest area. Okay? Grind the chest area, basically removing the chest, ending up like that. Again, making the whole figure of a slider person. Okay? Won't do it the whole thing, but for sure, you just grind it. Doesn't matter if you cut the way through, end up with a hole there, no problem. That's gonna be covered by clothes. If I were making a winter figure with many layers of clothing, I would probably do this more dramatic. Again, I'll leave the other side for later. So smooth out. These are not smooth out, they're just cut. Grind out. Then I make these lines because I want my figures not to be all the same height. So I put one line down the middle in front and 3 on the back, just to keep that straight for later on. Avoid the closest 1/2 inch. Sometimes I would make a line, then get a little bit closer, not closer than that. But beyond that, the only restricting factor is you don't want to go too much where the thigh is being reduced, because then it won't match. But you can almost get a full inch out of there, and you can get a good 1/2 inch from the abdomen. And these ab lines, try to stay above this one and below this one, but this area, what I do is I cut in the middle, and then looking at it, I reduce it. You might want to cut out some of this area here to maintain the full flexibility, but not necessary. I'll show one later that I already did a long time ago. Okay. Once you have those lines, then again with the cutting blade, we cut the legs where marked. I've already done some of these. use the same blade as a sander. At least I do. That's why I don't like those discs, because I'll be putting a lot of pressure on them. But this can handle it. So it's like sand it there. Sand the hip. Look at the inside. See, you don't wanna get shorter than this joint piece, because then you start creating problems with the joint. Then you go over on the other side that I've pre-cut most of it. Again, sand it. Cut it. You want to make a much shorter figure. Again, I mentioned I would first go on the thighs, then I would go on the abs, on the torso. Then you can go on the calves, but that's extreme. Okay. Once you make the cuts, rough piece of sandpaper. Remove anything from inside. See, there it's almost to that spot. And here not necessarily, but I do those lines, I eyeball it. Never had a problem. You know, maybe one leg. So then line it up again with the 3 lines on the back, 1 line in the front. I tuck the arms in. Okay, got the legs ready. Then I would use this trusty Hobby Link Max Secure thick super glue. Great stuff, unpaid advertising. Okay. What I do is I add a lot of the glue. You know, nice heavy application, and let it fall in the inside. Because the idea is that when I put it on the figure, again, I go to my trusted 3 lines on the back. It's not a perfect match because, whoa, boy, I've only done about 600 of these, and I cannot tell you how unusual that drop is. Line it up. The lower part might be smaller, so you just eyeball it and make it match. Okay, you will do the same with the other leg. I would wait plenty of hours, 6 hours or so, before I start handling it, and then I would use this Dremel around the joint, like to blend it in. Okay, here is a figure before making the changes, and here's one with a bunch of changes. On this one, I shorten the thighs. My way would be first thighs, then torso, then legs. Of course, removed here, remove the chest. Then here, this is like for a driver. I also removed some area from inside the hip, so that makes that leg go up higher. Again, I marked it to maybe cut it, but I didn't. And again, look how much shorter that is. Even without the head sculpt, you're talking a good 1.75 inches difference. Okay, hope that helps. Again, it looks great when the crews have different sizes.